My child, my beloved, can you feel the warmth spreading through your chest right now? That is not coincidence, and it is not your imagination. It is my presence drawing near to you, wrapping your spirit in golden armor forged from divine light. I have watched you walk through storms with only a fragile whisper of faith to hold on to. Today, I come closer than ever because the veil between heaven and earth is thinning around this moment. Do not look away and treat this as another message lost inside the noise of your day. This moment was written into eternity before your first breath ever touched the world. The stars, the winds, the timing, and the unseen movements of heaven all shifted so you would find these words now. Can you feel the miracle beginning in this quiet pause, right here, right now, my precious one? You have carried wounds even you tried not to look at. You have hidden scars from battles fought in silence, and you have tucked away dreams like fragile seeds afraid of another season of frost. But hear me clearly. What you call broken, heaven calls sacred ground. Where others see lack, I see altars waiting for miracles. Where you feel weakness, I am awakening a strength you have never dared to imagine. This is not only comfort. It is a divine invitation into something greater than the life you have known. Something vast and luminous is stirring on the horizon of your life. Doors sealed by doubt will begin opening without force. Chains you thought were permanent will dissolve like mist beneath the morning sun. The very air around you will begin to hum with radiant possibilities. They will feel so unexpected, so holy, and so alive that your breath may catch inside your chest. But you must choose to believe before everything appears in front of you. Not tomorrow, not after every sign becomes obvious. Believe now, in this heartbeat where faith is meeting destiny. I know the world taught you to prepare for disappointment. It taught you to make your hopes smaller, to hide your longing, and to keep your dreams inside safe little boxes. But I stand before you now with my sword blazing in celestial fire, not to make you passive, but to awaken the warrior within you. Your courage is the key, your surrender is the spark, and your willingness to trust this unseen current is the force heaven will use to move mountains before your eyes. So stay with me a while longer, beloved. Let these words sink deeper than your skin, past bone and memory, into the core of who you were born to be. What comes next will defy logic, shatter limitations, and rewrite stories you thought finished. But only if you keep your heart unguarded. Only if you let wonder replace worry. Only if you say yes to the impossible whisper stirring in your spirit. And if this message found you like a lifeline in raging waters, if your breath caught or tears rose unbidden, know this, it is no accident. Share this light with someone else trembling in the dark. Then return often, for the journey ahead brims with wonders too glorious for words. You are seen, you are chosen, and your miracle has already begun. My beloved warrior of light, do you feel that subtle shift within your very cells as we speak? That is not imagination. It is the fabric of your reality rewiring itself to match the frequency of miracles. I see the way you have carried burdens that were never meant for your shoulders. How you have bent under weight others placed upon you while whispering to yourself that this was simply your lot in life. But today, I shatter that illusion with a single truth. You were designed for glory, not grinding endurance. The exhaustion you feel is not a sign of weakness, but a divine signal that you are ready to step into a new dimension of power. Your soul has been whispering this truth for months, perhaps years, and now the universe conspires to make it undeniable. Can you sense the invisible threads of destiny pulling tighter around your heart as we speak? This is not random energy. It is the architecture of your breakthrough being assembled in realms beyond your sight. Every sacrifice you made in silence, every tear you wiped away when no one was watching, every prayer you whispered into the darkness, they have not been forgotten. They have been collected like precious drops of liquid gold in heaven's treasury. And now the moment has come to pour them back over your life as anointing oil. Do not doubt what is unfolding simply because you cannot yet see its full form. Trust the process that began long before this moment. The process that knew your name when you were still stardust waiting to be shaped into human form. The same hands that flung galaxies into existence are now tracing the outline of your tomorrow. With tender earnestness that defies human understanding, I know you have questions swirling like leaves in a storm. Questions about timing, about worthiness, about whether you have the strength to sustain what is coming. Let me quiet those murmurs with a revelation that will anchor your spirit. Your doubt is not a barrier to your miracle, but the very soil in which it takes root. The moments when you felt most uncertain were actually sacred appointments where your faith grew deeper roots. Remember that time last winter when everything seemed to collapse around you, when the job you loved vanished overnight, when the relationship you poured your soul into dissolved like mist, when your health betrayed you without warning. You thought you were falling apart, but I was dismantling a life too small for the greatness growing inside you. Like a master sculptor removing excess stone, I was carving away everything that dimmed your radiance so the authentic you could finally breathe. That pain you carried was not punishment. It was preparation. The loneliness you endured was not abandonment. It was incubation. And the financial struggle that kept you awake at night. That was not lack. It was divine recalibration, teaching you to trust resources beyond what human eyes can perceive. Do you recall how the sunrise still broke through your window on those darkest mornings? How birds still sang outside your door even when your heart felt silent? Those were not accidents. They were messages written in light and song, reminding you that life continues to pulse with beauty, even when your own world feels shattered. I was speaking to you then, as I speak now. Not in thunderclaps, but in the quiet certainty that settles in your bones when you choose to believe against all odds. I see the sacred hunger in your spirit, spirit, the longing not just for personal breakthrough, but for purpose that transcends your own comfort. You were never meant to play small, to hide your brilliance behind false humility, or shrink your dreams to fit others' expectations. That creative gift you've kept hidden in drawers and notebooks, that passion you dismissed as impractical, that vision you received during prayer that seemed too grand to claim. These are not random thoughts. They are divine downloads waiting for your courage to activate them. The world desperately needs the unique light only you carry. Your voice, your innovation, your compassion. They are not merely personal expressions, but sacred tools for healing a broken planet. Do not fear the exposure that comes with stepping into your calling. Yes, some will misunderstand you. Yes, critics will emerge like shadows when you stand in the light. But their opinions are not currency in the kingdom I am building through you. Your assignment is not to please everyone, but to please the one who formed your heart with specific purpose. When you sense that internal nudge, the gentle pressure to create, to speak, to heal, to build, do not negotiate with fear. Move immediately, even if your steps are small. Write one paragraph, make one phone call, share one insight. Action, however imperfect, breaks the paralysis that has held you captive. I will meet you in the doing, refining your efforts, opening doors you never saw, connecting you with people who recognize your value before you do. Remember the caterpillar that must dissolve completely before becoming a butterfly. Your current discomfort is not destruction, it is transformation. The old ways of operating, the safe routines, the familiar limitations, they must dissolve so your true form can emerge. This process feels terrifying because you cannot see the wings forming beneath the surface. Trust the metamorphosis. One day soon, you will look back and realize the very struggles that felt like death were actually birth pangs, preparing you for flight. The healing moving through your body right now is not wishful thinking. It is divine biology at work. Every cell in your being carries the memory of wholeness, encoded with instructions for perfect health, waiting to be activated. Modern medicine understands only fragments of the sacred science, but I see the entire symphony. Where doctors see disease, I see divine order waiting to be restored. Where specialists diagnose chronic conditions, I perceive temporary disruptions in energy flow that can be realigned through faith and frequency. Your body is not your enemy, it is your ally, constantly communicating through symptoms that are not punishments but messages. That persistent pain in your back, it is speaking of burdens you were never meant to carry alone. The digestive issues that flare during stress, they are mirroring your inability to process life's challenges. The fatigue that no amount of sleep relieves, it is signaling that your spirit is waiting for permission to release roles that no longer serve your highest. I am not dismissing medical care. Use every resource available. But understand the true healing integrates physical, emotional, and spiritual dimensions. As you release resentment through forgiveness practices, watch inflammation decrease. As you speak life over your organs daily, observe cellular regeneration accelerate. As you dance to music that lifts your spirit, notice energy returning to depleted systems. This is not alternative medicine. It is original design. You were created to thrive, not merely survive. The same power that calmed storms with a word, that restored sight to the blind, and that raised the dead. I place that identical energy within your hands now. Place them over your heart and declare, by divine authority, every system in my body aligns with perfect health. Every cell receives instructions for renewal. Every organ functions in harmonious rhythm. I release all patterns of illness and embrace my birthright of wholeness. Speak this not once but daily, believing that words carry creative power. Your body believes what you tell it. Feed the wholeness, not fear. Within weeks, you will notice subtle shifts, deeper sleep, clear skin, steadier energy, reduced pain. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations that you are reclaiming your divine inheritance of health. Trust the process even when progress feels slow. A tree does not apologize for taking years to bear fruit. It simply grows according to divine timing. The peace settling over your mind now is not temporary relief. It is a permanent shift in your spiritual atmosphere. For years, You have surrendered your inner sanctuary to anxiety, allowing worry to become the gatekeeper of your thoughts. News headlines dictated your mood. Social media comparisons stole your joy. Past traumas hijacked present moments. But today, I reclaim your mind as holy ground. Your thoughts are not random electrical impulses. They are powerful seeds that either grow gardens of peace or weeds of chaos. I place within you now a divine filter. Before any thought takes root, ask, is this true? Is this helpful? Is this kind? If the answer is no to any question, release it like a bird from your palm. This practice is not positive thinking. It is spiritual warfare. Every time you choose faith over fear, you weaken the enemy's strongest weapon against your destiny. Do not be discouraged when anxious thoughts still arise. This is normal in a world saturated with fear. Your power lies not in preventing negative thoughts, but in refusing to entertain them. When worry whispers, "What if you fail?" respond with, "What if I soar?" When shame hisses, "You are not enough," declare, "I am divinely equipped for this moment." When regret murmurs, "You should have done differently," answer, "I am wiser now and moving forward." This mental discipline creates new neural pathways, literally rewiring your brain for peace. Pair this with daily mind renewal. Spend 15 minutes each morning in silence before screens invade your space. Breathe deeply while declaring truth over your life. Read words that inspire rather than inflame. This sacred space sets the tone for your entire day. You will notice changes within weeks. Smaller things no longer trigger big reactions. Deadlines feel manageable rather than crushing, and conflicts resolve with less drama. This is not you becoming numb. It is you becoming centered. The peace that guards your heart and mind is not the absence of problems, but the presence of perspective. You begin to see challenges as temporary assignments rather than identity statements. A bad day does not make a bad life. A failed project does not define your worth. A difficult conversation does not predict your future. This unshakable peace becomes your superpower in a chaotic world, drawing others to your stability like moths to a gentle flame. They will ask your secret. You need only smile and say, "I learned to trust the process." The purpose awakening within you now is not a vague call. It is a specific assignment encoded in your DNA before time began. You were not born to merely pay bills and pass time. You were designed to leave an indelible mark on humanity's story. That restlessness you feel in uncomfortable routines, that is your spirit recognizing a life too small for your soul. That envy you feel when witnessing others' success, do not judge it harshly. It is often a divine signpost pointing toward buried dreams. That recurring dream you dismiss as fantasy, it contains blueprints for your destiny. Heaven does not waste emotions. They are signposts guiding you toward your true north. Your purpose is not something you find like a lost object. It is something you uncover through faithful steps in the direction of your joy. Notice what makes you lose track of time, the activities where hours feel like minutes. Notice what makes you angry, the injustices that ignite holy fire in your belly. Notice what brings tears to your eyes, the beauty or brokenness that resonates with your core. These are not random preferences. They are fingerprints of the divine architect who shaped you for such a time as this. Do not wait for a burning bush experience. Your assignment is hidden in plain sight. in the ordinary moments of your current life. The teacher finds purpose not in changing careers, but in seeing each student as a sacred trust. The accountant discovers destiny not in quitting, but in using financial wisdom to free families from debt. The parent fulfills calling not by grand gestures, but by raising children who know their worth. Your purpose is not where you work, but how you serve. It is not your job title, but your heart posture. Begin today by asking, how can I add value to one person's life right now? The answer might be as simple as sending an encouraging text, sharing a resource freely, or listening without fixing. These small acts are not beneath your destiny. They are the building blocks of it. As you consistently show up for micro moments of service, the macro path will reveal itself. Doors will open to platforms you never expected. People will seek your expertise in areas you thought ordinary, and resources will align to amplify your impact. This is not self-promotion. It is stewardship. You were given unique gifts not for personal gain, but for collective healing. The world does not need another carbon copy. It needs the original masterpiece only you can offer. Step into that truth today. Even if your stage is small, a single candle can ignite a forest of light. The miracles gathering around your life now are not random acts of kindness from the universe. They are precise responses to prayers you whispered when no one else was listening. Do you remember that desperate cry in your car 3 months ago? Tears blurring the windshield as you begged for just one sign that you mattered? I heard the exact pitch of your voice breaking on the word, please. Do you recall kneeling by your bed at 2:00 a.m. last winter, too exhausted to form coherent sentences, simply groaning in the spirit while clutching your pillow? I counted every tear absorbed by that fabric. Do you think I missed the prayers you choked back during family gatherings when loneliness wrapped around you like a second skin? Your unspoken longings are written in eternity's registry with golden ink. What you considered unanswered prayers were actually divine delays aligning your request with perfect timing. That job you prayed for but did not receive. I was protecting you from a workplace that would have demanded a compromise of your values. That relationship you begged to save. I was preserving you for a love that will reflect my heart more clearly. That healing you demanded immediately. I was preparing a testimony that would save not just your life, but hundreds of others walking similar paths. Your impatience is understandable. You dwell in time while I inhabit eternity. But your frustration cannot accelerate what must be cultivated. A farmer does not dig up seeds daily to check their progress. He trusts the process, waters consistently, and removes weeds, and waits with active faith. So it is with your miracles. The same power that spoke galaxies into existence is speaking over your impossible situation right now. Where doctors see chronic illness, I see cells reprogramming themselves for wholeness. Where bankers see dead realms, where you see a broken family, I see generations being healed through your obedience. Do not limit my methods by your understanding. Your miracle may not arrive packaged as you expect. It might come through an unexpected phone call, a sudden policy change, a stranger's generosity, or a shift in your own perspective that transforms your reality. Stay open to my creativity. Say daily, I trust your methods even when I do not understand them. I believe in solutions I cannot yet see. I accept blessings in unexpected forms. This posture of surrendered expectancy creates space for the extraordinary to enter your ordinary. The warfare surrounding your destiny is not metaphorical. It is a dimensional battle where your thoughts are strategic territory. Negative voices whispering, "Who do you think you are?" are not random doubts, but assigned spirits attempting to shrink your identity. That sudden wave of fatigue when you sit down to create, it is not mere tiredness, but resistance to the divine download forming in your spirit. The financial setback that appears just as you begin believing for breakthrough is not random, my child. It is a direct challenge against your faith, arriving at the edge of your victory to see whether fear can still move you. Do not be intimidated, because opposition often rises strongest when you are closest to something significant. When light begins to enter a place long held by darkness, the shadows do not surrender quietly. They resist, they stir confusion, and they try to make you question the promise at the final moment. The same forces that tried to delay David from his throne, Esther from her appointment, and Daniel from his purpose, are now trying to push against your elevation. But hear the truth that breaks every weapon formed against you. You are not fighting for victory. You are standing from victory. The battle was already won at Calvary, and your role is not to beg darkness to leave, but to walk boldly in the light Christ has already provided. Take every thought captive, my child. When fear says, "This pattern will never break," declare, "I am a new creation in Christ, and old things have passed away." When lack says, "There will never be enough," proclaim, "My God supplies all my needs according to His riches." When shame says, "You are defined by your worst moment," answer with authority, "I am hidden with Christ in God, and my past is not my future." Speak these truths aloud until your atmosphere begins to change. Do not let the old voice be louder than the word that is already spoken over your life. Your words are not empty sounds. They carry creative power when they are aligned with heaven. When God spoke, light appeared. When Jesus commanded, storms became still. When faith rose in the prison, chains began to fall. Your declarations activate spiritual alignment and shift the atmosphere around you. Stand in your home and command every spirit of delay to break. Sit at your desk and speak provision over your finances. Then kneel beside your bed and declare healing over your body. Do not whisper these words as if you are defeated. Speak with the authority of someone who knows who they are. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are a victor through Christ. You are not defined by your bank account. You are a child of the King of Kings. You are not limited by a diagnosis, a delay, or a report. Because you are fearfully and wonderfully made by the Creator of all. This identity is your sword, and you must carry it daily. Use it when fear speaks. Use it when lack rises. And use it when the past tries to call your name. Heaven is teaching you to stop agreeing with defeat and start speaking from the victory already placed inside you. Something extraordinary is stirring in the unseen realm surrounding you right now. A frequency so potent it is causing ripples across multiple dimensions. The angels assigned to your life are not merely watching but actively rearranging circumstances with swift, silent precision. They move through your financial records, removing hidden blockages. They stand beside medical professionals, guiding their hands and minds towards solutions that will surprise even them. They whisper inspiration to people who will become unexpected allies in your journey. Can you feel the acceleration building in your atmosphere? It is not your imagination. The energy around you is thickening with possibility. Doors you stopped knocking on because rejection hardened your heart are about to swing open without warning. People who disappeared from your life will return with resources you desperately need. Opportunities wrapped in seemingly ordinary packaging will arrive at your doorstep disguised as routine moments. But here is the sacred key most miss. You must recognize the divine in the mundane, the delivery person who brings your packages, the stranger who smiles at you in the grocery store, the colleague who shares coffee with you on a stressful morning. These are potential holy appointments bearing seeds of your destiny. Do not dismiss the small openings, thinking your miracle must arrive with fanfare. Often the greatest breakthroughs begin as whispers. A phone call at just the right moment, a book falling off the shelf into your hands, a sudden clarity while washing dishes. These are not coincidences but cosmic breadcrumbs, leading you toward your promised land. I am training your spiritual eyes to see beyond surface appearances, to recognize that every interaction holds potential, every setback contains redirection, and every delay is actually divine protection, ensuring perfect timing. Your heart has been a battleground where hope and fear wage daily war, each sunrise bringing fresh ammunition for both sides. I see how you've memorized the taste of disappointment, how you've learned to brace yourself against joy, because past wounds taught you that happiness is often a prelude to pain. But today I lay down a new law over your emotional landscape. From this moment forward, your past will no longer dictate your future. The betrayal that shattered your trust in relationships, that story is ending. The financial disaster that made you question your intelligence, that chapter is closing. The health crisis that made you doubt your body's resilience, that sentence is being rewritten. I am not asking you to pretend those experiences didn't happen, or to dismiss their impact. Instead, I invite you to reinterpret them through the lens of divine purpose. What if that broken relationship was not a failure, but a necessary pruning that made space for love that honors? What if that career collapse was not a dead end, but a detour away from a path that would have slowly killed your spirit? What if that illness was not divine abandonment, but a sacred pause that forced you to listen to your body's wisdom? When you shift your perspective from victim to victor, from passenger to co-creator, everything changes. Your pain becomes power. Your story becomes strategy. Your scars become sacred maps for others still lost in darkness. This is not positive thinking. It is spiritual alchemy, where I transform your suffering into strength, your grief into guidance, your ashes into abundance. Do not fear the process. I know exactly which parts of your history need redemption, and which memories require healing. I am not in a hurry, but I am precise. Like a master weaver threading gold through worn fabric, I am restoring the places where life tore you apart. The abundance flowing toward you now is not limited to finances or material blessings, though those will come in ways that defy your current understanding. I speak of a deeper wealth, the richness of peace that guards your mind when chaos reigns around you, the currency of courage that enables you to make bold decisions even when your knees shake, the treasure of time reclaimed from worry and invested in joy. You have spent years believing scarcity was your reality, while standing on ground soaked with divine provision. The universe has always been generous with you. You simply learned to see through lenses clouded by lack. Watch how this shifts in coming days. That unexpected refund check arriving when bills seemed insurmountable. That sudden discount on something you desperately need. That job offer appearing after months of silence. These are not random acts of kindness. They are divine deposits confirming that heaven's economy operates on principles beyond human logic. Your role is not to figure out how, but to position yourself in gratitude. When you express genuine thankfulness for the little things, the perfect cup of coffee on a stressful morning, the unexpected compliment from a stranger, the warmth of sunlight on your face, you activate spiritual laws that multiply blessings. Gratitude is not merely a feeling. It is a frequency that aligns you with abundance consciousness. I want you to practice this sacred discipline daily. Before your feet touch the floor each morning, before you check your phone or face your responsibilities, speak aloud 3 specific things you are grateful for. Make them tangible. I am grateful for the way my child laughed yesterday. I am grateful for the strength in my legs that carried me through a long day. I am grateful for the smell of rain on dry earth. This simple practice shifts your entire energy field, making you a magnet for miracles. You will notice opportunities appearing where none existed before. People will feel drawn to help you without being asked. Solutions will come through unexpected channels. This is not magic. It is spiritual physics, as within, so without. When your inner world vibrates with thankfulness, your outer world must reflect it. The timing unfolding in your life now is not random. It is celestial choreography where every second holds divine significance. You have wrestled with clocks and calendars, comparing your journey to others' highlight reels, wondering why your breakthrough seems delayed. But I operate outside human time. My delays are not denials, but divine protection. That promotion you did not receive shielded you from a toxic environment that would have drained your creativity. That relationship that ended suddenly saved you from a future of compromise that would have dimmed your spirit. That business venture that collapsed prevented you from building on foundations of sand. What looks like closed doors are actually divine detours preserving you for open windows you cannot yet see. Your frustration is valid. I do not dismiss your tears, but your perspective is limited. Like a child watching a parent prune a rose bush, you see only the cutting, not the blooming that follows. Trust the gardener who knows exactly which branches must fall for the flowers to flourish. Your season is not late. It is perfectly timed. The preparation you dislike, those years of obscurity, those seasons of waiting, those periods of rebuilding, they were not wasted time, but sacred incubation. Diamonds require pressure. Redwoods need deep roots before towering. Butterflies must dissolve completely before flight. Your current struggles are not obstacles to your destiny. They are the very soil in which it grows. Release the tyranny of comparison. Your path is unique, never meant to mirror another's journey. That friend who seems ahead of you, her struggles are hidden behind curated photos. That colleague who received recognition, his victories came after failures you never witnessed. Your story is being written with individual strokes designed for your specific purpose. Instead of begging for acceleration, practice sacred wait. Active trust that engages your gifts while honoring divine timing. Use this season to master skills you will need later. Deepen relationships that will sustain you. Heal wounds that could sabotage future success. Build foundations that will support greater responsibility. This is not passive resignation. It is strategic preparation. When your moment arrives, and it will, you will be ready. Not by accident, but by intentional cultivation. The same God who numbered the stars knows the exact moment your breakthrough must land for maximum impact. Your part is not to control the calendar, but to cultivate the soil of your soul. Plant seeds of faith daily. Water them with consistency. Pull weeds of doubt when they sprout. Then watch with wonder as the harvest appears, not on your schedule, but on heaven's perfect plan. This is not a promise for someday. It is a reality unfolding now. In this choice, in this sacred moment where eternity touches your ordinary day. The love surrounding you in this sacred moment is not an emotion. It is a living force field woven from the very essence of creation. Can you feel it pressing against your spirit like warm water, lifting burdens you had grown accustomed to carrying? This is not metaphor. It is measurable energy shifting the molecules in your atmosphere. I have stationed my warrior angels around you in a circle so tight that darkness cannot penetrate. Their wings overlap like shields of living light. They do not merely protect you from external threats. They guard the sacred space within you where your deepest dreams are being birthed. Those dreams you dismissed as unrealistic. The ministry you felt called to but abandoned when practicality shouted louder. The creative project gathering dust in your closet. They are not dead. They are dormant seeds waiting for this exact season of supernatural favor. Your breakthrough is not coming. It has already arrived, moving through dimensions you cannot yet perceive, gathering momentum like a river swelling beneath frozen ice. The ice may still look solid to human eyes, but beneath the surface, currents of divine acceleration are carving new pathways. Can you trust what you cannot yet see? Can you believe in the sound before the first vase drop of water appears? I see the exact moment your faith wavered last Tuesday afternoon. The way you scrolled through social media and compared your beginning to someone else's highlight reel. The way you allowed a single negative comment to overwrite hundreds of affirmations. The way you made decisions from lack rather than abundance when stress tightened its grip. Do not condemn yourself for these moments of human frailty. Even the mightiest oak tree sways in the storm. What matters is not that you stumbled, but that you are still standing, still listening, still willing to receive this message. Your willingness to open your heart again after disappointment. That is your greatest strength. That stubborn hope that flickers even when logic extinguishes it. That is your divine inheritance. I did not choose you because you had it all together. I chose you because your broken places became doorways for my light to enter. Your tears watered seeds of compassion that now bloom in your interactions with others. Your failure taught you humility that makes you approachable. Your battles forged discernment that protects your future. Nothing in your history is wasted. Not the years you consider lost. Not the relationships that ended painfully. Not the opportunities that slipped through your fingers. Each experience was a classroom where I taught you lessons your soul needed to master before stepping into your next. The student does not curse the school for being difficult. They say, thank you for preparing them for the world beyond its walls. So it is with your life. Every closed door was a redirection. Every financial setback was a recalibration of your values. Every health challenge was an invitation to deeper trust. When you shift from asking, "Why is this happening to me?" to "What is this preparing me for?" you unlock the hidden curriculum of your struggles. The relationships transforming around you now are not random developments. They are divine recalibration, aligning your circle with your upgraded frequency. Some faces will fade, not because you failed, but because their season has ended. Do not mourn these departures as losses, but honor them as necessary closures that create space for new connection. The friend who vanished when you needed her most, her absence protected you from a bond that would have dimmed your light. The family member who criticized your spiritual growth, his resistance was a mirror showing you where you still sought external validation. The romantic partner who chose another path, his departure preserved you for a love that will match your depth. Do not curse these endings. Bless them. Say aloud, "Thank you for what you taught me. I release you with gratitude and step into the relationships designed for my next chapter." This sacred closure frees you from energetic cords that drain your power. Simultaneously, new souls are being drawn to you with magnetic precision. People who recognize your worth without you having to prove it, who celebrate your victories as their own, who challenge you to grow while holding space for your humanity. These are not accidental encounters. They are divine appointments written in eternity's ledger. The colleague who becomes a mentor, the neighbor who shares resources without expectation, the stranger who becomes a lifelong friend after a brief conversation in line. These connections will surprise you with their timing. Pay attention to the quiet ones, the introvert whose wisdom startles you, the elder whose stories carry ancient keys, the child whose innocence restores your hope. Heaven often speaks through unexpected voices. Your assignment is to cultivate discernment. Not everyone who smiles at you has your best interests at heart, and not everyone who challenges you is an enemy. Ask me daily for wisdom to recognize divine connections. Watch for these signs, relationships that leave you feeling more like yourself, conversations that spark creative ideas, interactions where giving and receiving flow naturally without scorekeeping. These are hallmarks of heaven-sent connections. Protect them fiercely. Invest time in them generously. For in these sacred bonds, you will discover facets of yourself previously hidden, even from you. The financial breakthrough gathering momentum in your life is not merely about numbers changing on a screen. It is about identity shifting within your soul. For too long, you have believed lies about money being evil, about prosperity being selfish, about spirituality requiring poverty. I tear these deceptions apart now. Wealth is not your master. It is your servant. Resources are not corrupting. They are tools for extending your impact. Abundance is not hoarded. It is circulated to heal communities. Your current financial situation is not your destiny, my child. It is only one chapter inside a much larger story. Heaven is still writing over your life. I see the ideas stirring inside your mind, the side project you keep calling impractical, the service you could offer but fear no one will receive, and the product you dream of creating but keep questioning. Those thoughts are not random. They are divine strategies waiting for your courage to meet them. The skills you treat as ordinary, organizing chaos, listening deeply, repairing what is broken, encouraging others, or bringing laughter into heavy rooms are actually gifts the world needs more than you realize. Do not keep waiting for someone to give you permission to use what heaven placed in your hands. Begin small, if you must, with a weekend project, a simple offer, a consultation, a course, or one honest step toward the vision. Action activates angels, and movement gives heaven something to breathe upon. As you begin stepping toward your ideas, helpers will start appearing. The accountant who gives unexpected advice, the mentor who shares wisdom, the client who arrives at the exact moment you need confirmation. None of this will be accident. It will be divine orchestration meeting your willingness. At the same time, old patterns of lack must come to an end. Complaining about money while repeating unwise habits, lending to those who never return it while denying your own needs, or fearing to charge fairly for the value you bring must no longer control you. Those behaviors speak the language of scarcity, and heaven is teaching you a new language now. Replace old habits with sacred stewardship. Set aside something for yourself, even if it begins with only a small amount. Give from a place of honor, not pressure, and treat provision as something entrusted to you with purpose. Speak about money with respect instead of resentment. Thank the bills for the services they represent, instead of cursing every reminder that arrives. This is not pretending hardship does not exist. It is realigning your spirit so fear no longer governs your relationship with provision. In the coming season, you may begin noticing unexpected streams of income opening around you. A forgotten refund, a bonus, a small sale, a paid request, or something you thought had no value may suddenly become useful. These are not blessings reserved for other people. They are signs that your own story of provision is beginning to unfold. Trust the process, even when the path is not fully clear. Your breakthrough is not only coming, it is already moving through invisible channels toward your hands. Keep your palms open, not clenched in fear, because wealth flows more freely where faith, wisdom, and stewardship are ready to receive it.